This is a poem about basketball. It's a basketball diary kind of thing. It's called Leather Comets, and it goes like this. Let's wait. Oh, cool. Hi. If you didn't see our hands on fire, it doesn't matter. The backboard bears the burn marks, and the rim remembers the heat. As for skin, that night we learned to play without it. I remember the sky hung bright orange with clouds arranged in the scattered, ordered casuality of the cosmos. Beneath, walking to the sports court with the basketball were 5 boys, the starting school team. On the far right, Gary, the point guard. A geek so boring, he'd attempt to calculate the trajectory of a shot before scoring. Beside him fared Colin, nicknamed Fat Boy. Though built average and so spanned his chest, the dude was always eating, jaws never seemed to rest. On the far right, abreast, walked Wesley, the widest and strongest of wee ball drones. He of barrel biceps and muscles toned, walked beside Obi, the soft-spoken one. Now, normally, boisterous would be these boys, these jump-shooting, no-blows-pulling boys. Instead, stilled lay the label of noise. No sound from these slouched hands-pocketed boys, and the reason lay in the middle of that day. I remember the school grounds, but I forget its name. Remember the sickly, speckled, painted hallways. Away games always made us feel nauseous, and this was no different. Remember how parched the ball court seemed, how the 4 gym walls seemed close to bursting in, as though the walls were dams with oceans pressing in. So I sensed the pressure, but disbelieved the leaking, disbelieved the resentment river rushing in. The front row sent the sea rolling, sent the entire auditorium into frenzied name-calling. We 5, capsized by the sewage of the sea, swam for land as the storm sang with "Go back to Africa," their voices unrelenting as the waves wide. Against such rising tide, Gary lifeboated. "Inua, don't listen." But drowning, I replied, "Gary, this is no thing, for I know no niggas, I know no coons, I know neither monkey, jungle bunny, nor baboon. I have waded deeper waters, Gary. Words leave no wounds." Came the final whistle, we had conceded the game. But worsening this flooding, this fall from grace were my boys, feeling embarrassed, could not look at my face. Gary, stiff in his glass frames, wore this blue gaze, cold. Colin cursed in a vicious way only the Irish know. Wesley cried, this the hardest of all to hold, those great shoulders shaking, inconsolable, absurd. Obi sat stone silent, no movement, no word. But I say in stone silence lies the sharpest sword sheathed. We 5, my 4 kindred and I, were sight sorried by an afternoon so horrid we feared the future's yield. At the ball courts back in our home field, still this silence persisted. Only a 4 of syllables passed between us, 5 boys embarrassed in their own skin. Obi, the soft speaker, still vexed by the drama, withdrew the basketball, searched his pockets for a can of deodorant, sprayed it with links, unleashed the lighter, and lit it. The ball burst into flames. Passed to Wes, who screamed like a girl. Let fly a right hook and hit it to Gary, who true to stoic form caught the fire, mastered the pain, felt the gas rising to his tongue and bit it. And from our lost voices, swift came this giant game of hot potato. The point being to score 1 point, past to Colin, who cross-faded to me, I heel-spun and swung back to Obi, who sharp and sure as a stone-sheathed sword rocked back without a word. And I remember that leather ball of flame, now localized comet sailing the most fragrant fire trails, trailing its arc towards the hoop. Beneath that leather star, sensed the joining of we stargazers, a 20-limbed creature of mixed culture and mixed race, palms burnt, united in this stunt, this state of things being one, watching the basketball comet commence a crescendo buffering, euphoria jostling the rustling of adolescent release, Our lungs were closed caskets of cries, awaiting the swish sound signal to free them. A minute later, our hands cooled under a tap. The simple wetness was a baptism from fire. The 20-limbed creature became 5 boys again. Underwater, our fingerprints were growing, interrupted by the oohs, ahs, and laughter of victory, sowing sentiments the sanctity of this, our game saved. If you didn't see our hands on fire, it doesn't matter. The backboard bears the burn marks, and the rim remembers the heat. As for skin, that night, we learned to play without it. Cheers.